Hi, Gary Keep It Simple. Going to have a look around some vinyl stuff today. Trying to spread out a little bit and just see how we can deal with these things. This is a nice little turntable I've got. It's an Aiwa. It's a Aiwa Series 70 turntable from the 1980s. And we'll have a look and see what's what. Now there's interesting buttons. Got the power and the speed control. And there we got the cut, start and arm lift. So there we go, a nice looking turntable. Very similar to a lot of things that you can see around today anyway, with the buttons in those places. And this is a fully automatic turntable. This is genuine as it came out of the box originally. It's just been used and stored for a while. I say genuine, it's had one modification done to it, and that's that red lead which is sticking out the back, which I'll talk to you about a little bit later. There we go. Series 70, which was a 1980s phenomena. We open it up, and we see what looks like a reasonable platter and head shell. No pretensions to be anything special, except that it's got a Audio Technica cartridge on it, albeit an Aiwa branded one. 3600 takes the same stylus as the 3600s, and as you can see, fairly typical. It's got a 45 adapter. Not that we need those in the UK very often, except when we get jukebox records or American imports. The platter is plastic, although it looks metal. It's got a nice heavy platter mat. It's rubber, and you can see here it is a belt drive turntable. It's got a few cutouts of things and some dead bits, as in options that weren't used on this particular model, I guess. This is a 240 volt model, and its origin is from a stacking hi-fi system, but it wasn't stacking, it was all in one big box. Quite good quality. That's in the dust now, but came with a couple of speakers and was quite powerful, and wasn't cheap at the day for a music system, but it's not audiophile. You can see there's a red wire on this one. Now I'll explain that in a second. Okay, the red wire is what I use to earth the deck, and here's a close-up of the back for you. 240 volt, 50-60 cycles. The replacement style is an AN11, which is the same as the Audio Technica stuff, and you can see in a second it says model number PX-E740 Now, as I say, it was part of a stacking system, which was really not a stacking system, but it was reasonably good quality. However, the preamp wasn't as good as it could be. So what I've done is I've just looped out the preamp, and this is the earthing wire. Didn't have any green to hand, so I used red. Somebody's going to make a fuss about that. Well, fine. I'll put my hands up and say it's not the way you should really do it. However, that's what I did, because that's what I had available at the time. I had to take away the preamp because there is no switch on it, and on the modern decks they have a switch for preamp, and I didn't have that function, so I just bypassed it. It makes it a much more usable deck for me. However, there's nothing much wrong with the preamp. It just didn't sound as good as when I took it out. Just take a look at the bottom. You can see on here that it's got 4 feet, which have got rubber cup feet, and it's got the double arrows right there, and there, and there, and there, and there, and there, and they indicate the ones to undo. On here there is speed control, 33, 45. So here we have it all plugged in. It's switched on and it's ready to go. So Got the on-off switch there. There's no power light on it, but we've got the on-off switch there. And we've got just got to unclamp the arm. It's working okay. So we've got the up and down button. We've got the quit button. We've got the start button. We turn it on and see what speed we're on. Got the size. Let's get that out of the way. And here we've got size control. So 12-inch and 7-inch. So theoretically, quit, start, and if I push start, I'll push that up, and that raises the tone arm. The grease on this is dried out. This is an original 1986 or 7 machine. Right, if we push the start, if the power's on. Right, so let's turn the power on. Power's on. It's on 45. If we push start, nothing happens. Right. Now it's started. And it would have dropped the arm there. I don't want to lose my stylus, so it hasn't. And there we are running. So I've got to just want to check the speed on here. I'm going to turn the lights off and use the strobe. And that's the outer ring. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. And it's pretty near stationary, but it's running a bit fast, I would say. And this disc is a bit warped, but anyway, the principle is there. So let's have a look at the 45 or whatever the other speed is. Right, that's the 45, and again, oh, now you can see it nicely on there now. But yes, it is running a bit out, and the disc isn't totally true, but it would be accurate enough to set the speed. What I can tell you is that with this, yeah, it's looking pretty good in terms of you can see it. What I can tell you is with this system, it would work adequate to set the speed. The fact that it's not true on the platter means that it's no good for checking other things, but gives you an indication of whether the speed's right or not. Could order one of those Hudson Hi-Fi ones. They would probably do a better job. I know it'd do a better job, but I don't have to have one. I do happen to have a printer in that one. What I'd just like to point out that is unlike a lot of these things, the actual turntable is running quite nicely. And that is one of the reasons why I wouldn't advocate using a phone to speed check. Depending on your phone, it might weigh a lot and make the turntable out of balance. But if you're going to do it, I would suggest doing it like this. What I've done is I've got a roller tape and I put that on the middle and then balance the phone on it, just like this. So here we go, this is running a test using the phone, 34.49. Let's give it. I'll put it on properly this time, make sure it's nicely balanced. Here we go. Yeah, 46.1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Well, that confirms that both speeds will run slightly fast. I'll sort them out later. Just thought I'd do this because this turntable does sound nice. What I did do was I took the the preamp out, which meant that it then sounded really good into my 1980s media system. If you got the opportunity to do that, I would. Otherwise, the preamp in it's fine, but it's not very good. It's just fine. The difference was astounding. I went and got the family and said, "What have you written on this?" They went, "Wow." Oh, and by the way, the tracking weight is this, 3.13, which is spot on spec for this cartridge used. Okay, that was a quick look at the turntable from Aiwa. As you can see from there, it's not a bad turntable at all, and it's worth having a look at. They're very cheap to pick up. If you can get hold of one, it's well worth it, and they are very similar to the modern stuff. The tone arms are much better than the modern ones, and I think overall not a bad deal. If you've got anything from this video, please choose another one and have a look at that, and we'll see where we go from there. Any questions, put them in the comments box. Any comments, put them in the comments box. Or if you just want to say hi, put it in the comments box, and catch you another time. Cheers, bye-bye.